move on, stay in the SEC. Let's go over Alabama versus LSU. LSU obviously is coming off of the firing of Brian Kelly, the fourth or fifth coach fired in the SEC this year. Kind of been all of them are dropping. I'm interested to watch this game because, one, I'm very high on LSU's defense as well, just like Missouri. But I'm also interested to see how they bounce back, and if we get kind of a
dead cat bounce,
dead cat bounce, new fired head coach bounce, exactly, to see if they can pick up the offense. Because really, when you look at how well LSU's defense has played all year, the limiting factor has been the offense. Mm-hmm. So, offensive coordinator is out the door, head coach is out the door. I'm interested to see how the locker room responds and if they're able to kind of, dead cat bounce, fired head coach, fired offensive coordinator bounce, and keep up with Alabama. So let's take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, I just want to quickly, before we kind of jump into the scouting report, which previews our games on a metric by metric basis. One thing I do want to point out to your point is their defense has been solid. They're top, 75 percentile in overall defense, top 60, 70 percentile in overall defense. The offense has been what has really struggled. They're, bottom 40 percentile in their run, bottom 10 percentile in run blocking, bottom 50 percentile in pass blocking. So, looking at this from, the more high level perspective, LSU's offense has been their main issue this year. And when you have someone like Garrett Nussmeier, who you thought was going to be the answer to producing a lot of this offense, but when you have an offensive line that's been struggling, you've had receivers that have been struggling a little bit. And I know that injuries have played a lot into this. That's kind of the storyline that I'm thinking of for, what's happened with LSU this year. Why are they underperforming what we thought they would have done? Just kind of from more of a meta level. But if we actually jump into the data a little bit, look, Alabama has allowed, Alabama's defense is not perfect. They've allowed 150 yards on the ground per game, around 1.4 rushing touchdowns per game. Their passing coverage defense is pretty stellar. They're allowing about 160 passing yards per game, around one touchdown passing per game. So their coverage defense is pretty spectacular. Running defense has been a little bit spotty. So I think that's going to be kind of an interesting storyline to see, hey, is Alabama able to still take away the passing from Garrett and forcing like Durham to have to run the ball a lot? Or is it going to be kind of the same story we've seen all year with LSU's offensive woes?
Right. I agree. And kind of just talking briefly about Alabama's offense versus that LSU defense, they go with Ty Simpson. Yeah. And he has been an incredible kind of manager of the game, protected the ball, understands what they're trying to do offensively, gets the ball in the hands of their playmakers as fast as he can. He's able to kind of read defenses really well. I've been impressed with him more and more outside of really the Florida State game, which of course was not all on him. But outside of that first game of the year, he's played exceptional. Last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, gone up against really pretty solid defenses. Yeah. And he has protected the ball, not turned it over, not tried to do too much. He's moved around in the pocket, and he's not taking sacks. And he's allowing them to kind of keep drives alive. So I'm expecting kind of the Alabama offense to continue what it's doing in terms of it goes as far as Ty Simpson will let them. And so
I would say, like, from an analytical perspective, Ty Simpson has had 2 outlier games this year in terms of accuracy, yards, decision making, IQ, pocket presence, ability to get in and out of the pocket efficiently in blitz formations and pressure pass formations, etc. There's been 2 outlier games. It was FSU, which was his first game of the year. You can kind of chalk that up to a couple different things. And then last weekend against South Carolina, and a team that they probably should have beaten by, obviously more than a touchdown. But there's only been 2 outlier games. Other than that, he's one of the highest accuracy quarterbacks in the country, in the mid 70 percentile in terms of accuracy, which is very high. He protects the ball. He goes to that second and third option. He doesn't force a lot of passes. And I think one thing you see when you look at from an analytical perspective, completion rate is attempts over completions. So, how many balls are caught that are thrown. Accuracy is a little bit of a different metric. It's regardless of the ball, if the ball's caught or not, was that a good pass and should the receiver have caught it? Those are the only two considerations with accuracy. One thing Ty Simpson does is he's accurate. And so he's not forcing the ball to turnover-worthy type plays. He's not forcing the ball to double, triple coverage. He's making the smart play and doesn't all the time, relate to his completion rate. It's good, but not great. But the accuracy is kind of what I'm holding on, and his ability to throw that deep ball, his ability to kind of also utilize more screen type plays. And so I think Ty Simpson's probably just going to continue what he's done all season, take away the 2 outlier games, and have a pretty effective game against LSU.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the question early on for Alabama in terms of offensively is whether or not they can establish some type of run.
Yeah.
Because if they can establish that run game, maybe LSU's forced to load the box, and that pass rush defense is not as scary, doesn't get in the face as much as of Ty Simpson as much, and allows him to kind of get comfortable in the pocket and make some good decisions.
That's where he hits that deep pass.
Exactly.
I mean, he's great on those, what I call playmaking ability, which is passes that are 20 plus yards down the field.
Right.
Top 10 percentile on that in the country this year.
Yeah. No, so perfect. All right. So if you're an Alabama fan, LSU fan, college football fan, SEC fan, any type of fan, please follow, comment, like, subscribe, check out INSZN.co.